She sleeps in an L and cover half of her body. What does the covers look like? Y'all tell me. So I'm supposed to sleep with that part. What do the covers look like?
No.
They not on
Okay.
me. That's all I'm
So
gonna tell
this
you.
is a solution oriented.
So at what point is it too much? Like at what point, and I'm asking you, Trigger, because you've been married for a while. At what point is it like, is it an everyday thing, or is it a like sometimes we sleep together, sometimes we don't? Like,
No, so the weird part, I think when your children are like, so my children are, well, my boy's about to turn 4, so about to be 4 and 5. Um, it depends. It literally just depends. Nothing is on schedule anymore, right? So I like my quiet time. So if I want any quiet time to think, to write my episode for the next day, it's literally happening at midnight to 2 a.m. So I'm probably gonna sleep right there in the game room where I'm at, right? So and then I'll wake up like, whoo, and I've pulled out the covers and my own little pillow. I was in the same spot, not on my stomach, which is bad for me to sleep. You know, I think it'll get too much if I get into a routine and I realize I ain't slept with my wife in like 2 weeks. Like, oh damn, I ain't
that's what I'm
even.
saying. Because there's some men who would do it like you. They don't want the kids foot in their back while they sleep. It's more
Yeah,
comfortable for them to have their own space. And then there's some men who just may not be feeling their wife anymore. And maybe they do want their own distance for another reason. So, like, at what point should a woman feel like it's alarming? Like, dang, he's
yeah.
just not fucking with me anymore, you know?
I will say when he's purposely creating the distance. So if I become selfish and start liking my own space more than realizing that I do actually need to create the intimate connection, like she does want to put her booty on me when she goes to sleep. She does want to leg lock me. Ooh, that shit's uncomfortable too. I ain't gonna lie. She does want to leg lock me, right? So when I start preferring my own space more than that, then yeah, it can definitely be a problem.
So I'm gonna add this to, like, if there's no, like, if that intimacy isn't being compensated anywhere else, like if there isn't like that quality time, that physical touch, if that's being stripped away in like the rest of the day, that's also like the point to be like, this is concerning, right? Like if it's just like, hey, like, my back hurts, or these kids, or whatever, or I just like my space at night, or it gets too hot sleeping in a bed with somebody else, like whatever it is, like if they're not compensating for that any other time, that's really the point where a woman should be concerned.
Saida, did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Mm, well, I agree with something that Cam said, that I wanted to add a little bit more on the fact that people, or women especially, don't have their own hobbies, and that's why they're like so jealous about their time that they're spending, because they have been in the house the whole day, and when the man comes home, like obviously that's kind of becomes their hobby. The women need to stop doing that, because and also another thing is like they need to start having these conversations earlier in the relationship. I told my boyfriend, oopsie, I usually keep my relationship private. um well, I told him, like, hey, I go to the gym, I go to swimming classes every day, Monday through Friday, so I make time for it right now, and I'm gonna still do it, because it's not fair that you expect me to be in a certain physical condition if that's what he wants me to continue to be, and I'm gonna stop doing these things. I have a specific diet that I try to follow as much as I can, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to cook for him what he likes and all those things. So I think those conversations are needed earlier. And I specifically ask him, what are your hobbies? I need you to have a hobby. I need you to like have an activity that you can do, because it's not just us. I've been in that position before. So it's essential for us to miss each other, to not fall on, in that. And then we need to have an activity that we do together as well. But people don't address these things that are important earlier in their relationship. People don't talk about these things. They're more concerned about who's making money and where are you going to take me to dinner. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, we don't go to dinner. Well, I personally don't expect to go to have dinner once a week. Not even. It's just me. But people are concerned about things that are not very common because they think that everything ends in the marriage, when in the ceremony, but that's when it starts. So they should be talking about those things that happens after you say I do. That's it.
You talking about they should have the conversation about if they're gonna sleep in the same room together?
Yes, yes. I told him,
But
look,
what if
I
that's
told
something
him
that
specifically, look, when I fall asleep like an L. I put like a pillow like this, like an L. So I'm like on my tummy, but it's kind of like sideways. It's a weird thing, but I cannot fall asleep if I'm not like that. So
AKA take up the whole damn bed person right here. This is
no,
what I'm
no, no.
talking
I don't even move. That's the thing. I don't. I'm not. I'm the type of person that doesn't move. But also, something you mentioned, they make the bed hot, and I'm like, oh, it's annoying. So I need my space in the bed. Like I need my own cover. I only cover my, half of my body. My feet are outside. So you have to talk about these things.
Number two. Now,
definitely.
listen, hold on, because she did it. She did the thing. She perfectly labeled it out the way I'm telling you this works. She sleeps in an L and cover half of her body. What does the covers look like? Y'all tell me. So I'm supposed to sleep with that part. What do the covers look like?
No.
They not on
Okay.
me. That's all I'm
So
gonna tell
this
you.
is a solution oriented show. I'm gonna have two covers. My cover and his cover. I don't need that. Like that's simple.
You know the funny
I'm not
part?
gonna take his pillows. I'm using my pillow.
She
But I
always wants
told
to
him
take the
this is the way
comfortable
I
cover.
fall asleep. You see, I'm communicating before it happens, so we don't have problems. I told him I don't like when someone is kind of like putting their leg and their arm.
But what if it's a conversation you can't have early because it's a situation where you don't know until you get there, like after you have a few kids, after you've been married for a few years, and then these things occur, and you're like, oh, I might want to create a little bit of distance for my own sanity.
It's time to
Like
upgrade
some
the
things
house.
you can't talk about.
Time
Are
What?
we
to upgrade the
really? Sorry, go ahead, Cam.
Sorry, I was just saying it's time that we get an extra bedroom then, so you can make the man cave and get your extra space. We gotta get you your room.
Now she wants to spend $1,000 a month in extra mortgage. You see how this stuff works? You see how people just be talking like this,
So
like
you would
life
rather
don't
him have
cost
a
money?
man cave outside of other than like
Do you
sleeping in
see
a
how
different
people just
room
be talking like life don't cost money? This is crazy.
or both?
I
Say that
mean,
again.
if we're gonna have a multi-bedroom home, I would assume one of the homes in the house would be one of the rooms in the house would be the man cave. So I mean, yeah, you could sleep in. I mean, I'm assuming you could sleep wherever you want in the house, but
Yeah.
I mean, he might fall asleep in his man cave because that's where all his comfortable stuff is. The TV, whatever entertainment he has. So I would assume he would fall asleep in the man cave.